Sports and the PGA Tour are delighted to bring you the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today's coverage of the Zurich Classic of New Orleans is about to start. I'm Luke Elvey alongside Rich Beam in the booth, and it's a hello to Henny Koyak down on the course following our featured group.
Hi Luke, I'm very happy to be following this featured group because there are rumours of a rivalry brewing between these two players.
Well, Henny, it sounds like this player is looking to beat Lydia Ko, which, let's be honest, will take all their skill and poise.
Oh, absolutely. This will be a certain KO for this player. I can't imagine that Lydia's going to let anybody beat her. When we talk about young phenoms, Lydia comes to mind. She's got it all.
Ding, ding, ring that bell. Let the bout begin. That's well played. Anything on the green from there was fine. Putting for birdie. Ooh, right by the hole. A good opportunity here, just 6 feet to the hole. That's pretty tidy. So it'll be a par to start their round.
Very nice par indeed. Very solid hole played.
He's currently tied for 12th. Rich, if you missed a birdie opportunity at the first, you've certainly got one here at the second.
Yes, par 5 is pretty much just straight away. You got to avoid those bunkers down the left-hand side. For those players laying up, you got to lay it up shy of the big bunker down the right-hand side. This green sits ever so slightly above the fairway, and again, they're just not that big of targets. It really is a cool golf course designed by Pete Dye.
Not quite sure about the strike on that one. This could be heading towards the rough. Well, you'd have to think this person's got a head full of confidence, Rich, coming off a last start win.
The game is coming easy to this player right now, so no reason not to believe they can't do it again this week.
How close was that to going down? Playing their 4th shot. Oh, I thought that one was going in. And a par putt awaits him. Our work here is done. Let's head to the next hole. Now switching our focus to Lydia Ko.
She made bogey, gave one back on the last hole.
So after that effort, this is what the leaderboard looks like. The third hole is a long par 3 measuring 230 yards.
Be careful of the wind here. You can't always feel it as those trees on the left sometimes block it out. Missing it right is an obvious no-no, but missing it left is no guaranteed of an up and down either. The green slopes away pretty severely over there.
A quality shot that. Standing over this one, and it's a very long putt.
This is what they have left for birdie here.
No, that's too bad. And this putt coming up for his par. Good looking putt. Well, that'll maintain the momentum. Nice par putt. Why don't we catch up with what Lydia Ko's up to?
She's trying to pull ahead in this group rivalry. Let's see what happens.
And after that effort, this is how the leaderboard looks. TPC Louisiana might be known as a birdie fest. However, you're going to find plenty of challenges, including the par 4 4th.
How can bunkers that are so minuscule be so agonizing? That's exactly what these are down the left-hand side of the 4th hole. You avoid those, and you get a good look at the green for your second shot that gently works away from the player.
There have been a lot of players that have come out, and people are quick to label them as prodigious talents and what they can do, but it's true about Lydia Ko that she is one of the game's prodigies.
Luke, when you say prodigy, I think Lydia Ko's name should just be, instead of prodigy, just say, look at Lydia Ko. because this young lady has seemingly done it all at 14 years young. 14, won a professional event, the youngest men or women to ever win a tournament that early. That is astounding. 18 years old, major champion with the final round 63. It's mind-blowing how good this young lady was at such an early age. Yes, had a little lull there for a little bit, but now come back out and has just taken the world by storm again. 17 wins already and building in her professional career. The sky is the limit for Lydia.
Even for the day. Going with the pitching wedge here. Yeah, good safe shot this one. That should find the surface. Not a bad approach, that one. Not quite inside the birdie range, but you never know. Hole a long one. Still counts. That was a gallant attempt. He's got a par putt here. Let's see if he can make it. Trailing by a couple of strokes now. The 6 is a tremendous par 4. Plenty of golf hole, this one.
Water all the way down the left-hand side, so that's going to shove your tee shot out to the right, which will make that second shot so much longer. Not much to the screen. It's fairly flat, but finding it in 2, well, that's a tall order.
Do you like the view from where you're standing, Henny?
By my estimation, he's got around 170 here.
Looks to have opted for the 8-iron. Come on, look after us. Little bounce to the right here. All right, facing a little up and down here to save the par. Okay, Henny, what's he looking at with this putt?
He's got to be careful this doesn't get away from him here. This is downhill. This is tracking right into the front of this cup.
You know, Luke Donald once made all 400-plus attempts inside 3 feet on the PGA Tour. It's got a chance. That's a good save in the end for a bogey. Now switching our focus to Lydia Ko.
She's 1 stroke behind her rival in this event.
And this putt is for a birdie 3 on the scorecard. Ouch, that hurts. And how did that shot impact the score? Let's have a look at the leaderboard. The 7th provides a great opportunity if you can get a good driveway. This par 5's a lovely hole.
There are 2 menacing bunkers on this hole. The far one, the one right in the middle of the fairway, it looks like a zit from the back tee box. That is not the place to be.
Just let that shot be water off a duck's back. Sitting at 1 over. That should find the sand. Ooh, sometimes you need a hacksaw to get out of this rough. Why don't we catch up with what Lydia Ko's up to?
She had a bad previous hole, came off with bogey.
Terrific shot. Who could have thought you'd hole it? Time now for the 4th shot. 3 shots off the lead. Oh, wouldn't that have been nice? Just a 4-footer remaining.
This for par.
I like the look of this. Our current leader is enjoying a 1-shot lead. The 8th is a short par 4, Rich, and modern players are starting to try to drive this green.
They are, although I don't quite see it that way. It's such an easy second shot. If you just lay it up short of those fairway bunkers down the left-hand side, you're not going to have much more than a flip sand wedge, gap wedge maybe, to a green that once again has a lot of movement to it.
Oh, that's a high caliber shot. The spot in the top 20 awaits if they can make this putt. Oh, so close. Putting for par. Okay, let's head to the next. The front nine finishes in a unique style, a par 3 of 210 yards length.
This is actually a par 3 on the card, but most players look at it as a par 4 because there is nothing simple about this hole. If you bail out to the right, you're going to fall off into a low area where it's nearly impossible to chip it up close without taking a risk. So most players are just resigned to making 4 and moving on.
Now switching our focus to Lydia Ko.
She's 2 strokes behind her rival this week.
That might be one club too many. Okay, let's get back to it, shall we? 7 feet to the cup. Ooh. And that should secure the par on this one. I'm interested in my buddy Beamer's thoughts at this duel after 9 holes.
Well, Luke, it's been fun watching this player duke it out with their rival, that's for sure. They're winning the rivalry thus far. Should be fun to see where these two end up at the end of the event.
Sometimes you hit some good ones, sometimes you hit some bad ones. Henny, how's that ball lying?
Looks like they have a bad lie here in the second cut.
Opting for the 9-iron.
Yeah, this is lovely. Really great work sticking the green from that lie.
And a chance to get back to even with the card with this putt. That's disappointing. A par putt on the table. Nice line. Yeah, nicely holed. Why don't we catch up with what Lydia Ko's up to?
She's currently trailing her rival. Let's see what happens here.
So after that effort, this is the current standings on the course. The leader now has a 1-stroke advantage. The par 5 11th, very gettable if, Rich, you can avoid that monster tree about 100 yards out.
Exactly. Tee shots, once again, you're throwing it between a couple of bunkers, but the second shot, there's a tree about 75 yards short of this green, and you've got to figure out a way around it. Do you draw it around it? Do you hit a fade around it? What do you do? No easy task for any of these players. Green sits above the player just a little bit, and again, has a lot of movement on it.
Oh, I like the courage here, Rich, getting after this par 5 in 2.
As they should. What a play. Hopefully they'll be rewarded for that play.
This has eyes for the hole. Oh, just missed. It's just about 3 feet away. And down it goes. So after that hole, he's now up to even with the card.
Moving up the leaderboard. I like it.
Will he be able to get out of this one?
Yeah, this is not what they wanted. There might be a couple of hits here.
And here we are with the third shot. 4 shots behind our leader. Well, that's a handy shot. This putt for par here.
Rolling end to end, this looking nice.
Yeah, well holed. Let's move on. Now switching our focus to Lydia Ko.
She's got some work to do. She's 2 strokes behind so far.
It was on a good line. And after that effort, this is how the field is shaping up. Tiger Woods back in his familiar spot, currently enjoying first place in this one. Rich, the 13th is a short par 4, but a really good one, depending on how much you want to take off.
There's really no real reason to go right at the green, Luke, with a tee shot, even if you have the power to get there, because you just can't stop it on the green. If anything, you want to hit it out to the right, where your next shot is going straight up the green. This is a very flat green, but is perched well above the fairway. It's a wonderful birdie opportunity.
Rich, obviously, and we've joked about it a fair bit in this game, that you've been one of the rare players to take Tiger Woods down in his prime. But what was it like to play in the Tiger era, and just how dominant he was?
It was simply amazing. You knew that each and every week that he showed up to a tournament, you better have your game ready to go, because you assumed that he was going to be firing at all cylinders. Because even when he wasn't, his game was still good enough to beat most everybody in those fields. You wanted him there because you always want to test yourself against the best. However, if you weren't playing very well, you're kind of fearful teeing it up, because you just knew that your best at that moment in time wasn't nearly going to be good enough to beat Tiger, no matter what he brought to the table. He made each and every player look at their game in a different way and try and dissect it in order to weed out anything that didn't really need to be worked on, and got them more specific in the areas that they weren't good at, their deficient areas, whether it's the short game, the driver, the iron play, whatever it is. But Tiger really made you take a long, hard look at your game and figure out where it's at, because you knew that you had to be at your best to beat him.
Sadly, in the sand, but a chance to make up for the error. Oh my, how about that for a par?
And now this is why you can never get comfortable, even if you're leading a PGA Tour pro. This is what they do. They mean business.
The 15th is certainly no cakewalk either. A par 4 measuring just under 500 yards.
This is the time where you need to have the best drive of the day. Take it out to the right, avoid the bunkers down the left-hand side. And the green, once again, it's got some movement into high spot in the front, a low area, and then a high area in the back. When the pin's all the way back, good luck making 4.
And choosing the 8-iron here. Nicely done. And he's down there. You got a read?
Setting up this putt 17 feet from the cup.
Oh, gee, that line was looking good, wasn't it? A par putt awaits. That's frustrating. Just a tiny putt is all that remains. Currently at 2 over par. Well, as we approach the final holes here at TPC Louisiana, the short par 4 16, Rich, it's a good one, but also a challenging one.
Only the brave will take driver out on this short hole. Long irons, hybrids, fairway woods down the left-hand side is just fine.
Setting up in the first cut.
Wow, did this come out beautifully?
That's inside the house of opportunity. Why don't we catch up with what Lydia Ko's up to?
Yeah, she's down, she's behind, her rival's scooting ahead. Let's see what happens.
Okay, let's get back to the action. Well, Rich, from where I'm sitting, this looks makeable. Do you agree?
Look, I just don't see this happening. I tell you, I'd love to see this player prove me wrong, though.
Well, that looked good for a long way. Big putt for par coming up. And staying right where they were in today's rankings after that. If you want to win at TPC Louisiana, you've got to hit a couple of very important shots late. The tee shot here at 17, Rich, is one of them.
A tee shot that no player likes to face. Water all the way down the left-hand side. The bailout zone out to the right falls away from the green. No fun whatsoever.
Now switching our focus to Lydia Ko.
She's 2 strokes behind her rival this week.
Looks to be going with a hybrid here. Let's get back to it, shall we? What are we looking at for this putt, Henny?
The perfect leave. Uphill, can be firm.
Just didn't drop. Right on 4 feet. Should make this one.
This is what they have left for par here.
And a very familiar sight. Tiger Woods on top of the leaderboard. The closing hole at TPC Louisiana has water all the way down the right, Rich, but that's not its only issue.
Bailing out to the left, you'll find some menacing bunkers that you want no part of. However, if you find the fairway, going for it in 2 will be very tempting.
That was wonderfully done. And this putt for a final score of 72. Ooh, right by the hole. Always nice to have a birdie putt. And with it, that concludes his event. Well, Rich, after coming so close to going back-to-back, you just wonder the way they finished. Maybe the occasion just got a little bit too much for them.
Luke, this player did everything to seal back-to-back wins on the PGA Tour. Unfortunately, coming up just a touch short. Still 2 awesome weeks.
On behalf of Rich Beam and all the hard-working folks at 2K Sports, I'm Luke Elvey. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.